Hey guys, welcome back to another knitting podcast. Let's unwind together. Grab something maybe a little cold and refreshing to drink because it is very humid and very warm. I have a ginger beer. These are so good. Alcohol-free ginger cider beer. Very refreshing. So welcome. I have just a normal knitting and a bit of sewing podcast today. I did not finish the one project that you're expecting me to finish, and I completely finished a new project. So first off, I'm not wearing any knitwear today. I did have my finished object on, and then I realized, oh, this is actually incredibly see-through and I can't wear it. So I'm gonna have to find a way. But let's start. My first finished object, something you haven't seen before. This is the Nightfall top from Ogla knitwear, and I mean like, of course, now when I'm holding it up to the light, like, this is quite sheer. So maybe I should have thought through my yarn choice a little bit more, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure something out. She's gorgeous though. I was enjoying wearing it inside the house when I did have it on. It has this really cool shoulder detail where the front and the back piece are gathered, and then there's this double knit cord that connects them, and it's a one shoulder top, and then this like gathered detail is on the shoulder. Here's a more modest view of it. Yeah, the front and the back are the same, which I think is kind of nice because then you could kind of choose, oh, do I want on this side or on this side? You could switch it up. Yeah, what else do I have to say about this? My yarn choice, I knit this with a single strand of Isager Alpaka 1. And when I first knit it up, I thought, oh, this is a little sheer, but it'll probably bloom after I block it. And so it won't be as sheer. It didn't actually bloom as much as I thought it would. Just be a little cautious about like what gauge you're knitting at. So because I was using a finer yarn, I sized up my pattern size and I sized down my needle size. It fits really good. It fits pretty good. When I was knitting the body, I was thinking, oh, this is actually like a lot of stitches, but it's fine. It's good. The only thing is the bottom edge. In the pattern, she has you doing a folded edge, kind of like fold it in a centimeter and then sew it down. I didn't bother doing that because it's black and so you can hardly see any details anyways. And I thought it's either gonna like kind of tuck in on itself anyways because it's just like a normal cast off edge, and it kind of does pull together a little bit compared to the rest of the body. I don't know if you can see that, but it kind of cinches a little bit in and it doesn't have any give to it really, so it kind of just like billows out, which is nice. But I don't think I'm gonna bother doing the like folded bottom hem part of it. I don't think for this yarn it would really make much sense to do that. Yeah, so what else do I have to say about this? This is, I think, a really interesting pattern, a nice pattern to follow. Like, she has really detailed patterns. I've also made the coastline mini dress from her. Yeah, doesn't disappoint. I would make this again in a different yarn so that it's less see-through, maybe a lighter color. But I thought the black would be very chic, And I don't have anything that I've knitted black. And I had to work on this with lots of light because the yarn itself was so dark, especially when I was doing all of the decrease or increase rounds for both of the armholes. I definitely had to watch out that I wasn't dropping stitches because the yarn was so dark. But yeah, this worked up pretty quickly, and I used less than 2 skeins of the Isager Alpaka one, so it was a pretty cost effective, even with like I don't know, like I would consider Isager like a really nice wool brand. The alpaca is quite soft but not scratchy, I don't think. Like I was wearing it today a little bit and it didn't like irritate me at all, but also it wasn't such a fluffy alpaca that I felt like really gross and sweaty wearing it, because I feel like that happens with like a Surrey alpaca, or like the Drops alpaca is very like fibrous fluffy, and if I'm wearing just like that next to skin, then I get like way too hot. But this was I think this was a nicer next to skin feel. Yeah, so first finished object, and my would have been what I'm wearing, but we gotta sort that out before we wear it outside. So now for whips, this next one, you guys saw the beginning, and what do you know? I ran out of wool. So I got this far, and I mean, this was 4 skeins. I finished, we gotta back up. This is the Roma vest from Mochi Knits. I'm knitting it in Drops Belle, number 10, the moss color. This is 4 skeins, which just seems like a lot, like it's a different stitch, like the fabric, because it's a slip stitch, it's a denser fabric. This was like 1.5 skeins for a whole garment, and this is 4 skeins already, and I don't know, I need to order more wool. I haven't gotten to that yet. As soon as I ran out of wool for this project, then I just started the other one. But it's like right to my waist, almost to my waist. So I'm thinking I need to order at least 2 more skeins. I'm thinking I may as well just order 3, because like with ribbing, it's probably gonna come down to here at least, and then the button band and the neckline. So I think I'll need to order 3 skeins more. But I am so far very pleased with the fit. I blocked it, and I'm very grateful that it stretched out a bit when it blocked. I remember in the last video I was telling you guys like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna do all of the underarm stitches, but when I got to that point, it was so tight. And even like up to this point, before I blocked it, it was very tight. Like I would have had to do like an extra wide button band for it to be able to close. But now I think it's good. I think it's I can just do the normal pattern further. I can just continue it without alterations, and it'll be good. So for this pattern, I also downsized my needles to a size 4 millimeter. The pattern recommends 4.5, I believe. And the yarn is actually very soft and nice. It's linen, cotton, and viscose mix. It's like the exact same yarn as the Line from Sadness Garn, apparently. So it's quite nice. And yeah, like a nice next to skin feel. I don't find it uncomfortable to knit with. The only thing is because the different components of the yarn are kind of loosely put together, then sometimes you just gotta be careful that you're actually grabbing all of the parts of the one strand of yarn. That was the only problem that I had with this. But I mean, other yarns, like also the Line and the Tin Line from Sandus Garn, they're like, they have the same kind of structure on their yarn strand. Yeah. So we're still waiting on the yarn for this one. And then I'm gonna put all of my focus on this so that I can actually get some wear out of it this summer. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this. I talked about it last week. I guess I think I got like one of the front shoulders done. Now I have the other one and I joined it in the round or like under the armholes, and I finished the detail, but that's as far as I got before I ran out. But I'm very excited for this, although right now with this weather, this might even be a little too thick. Who knows? So that's that. Another new project that I just started to use up some of my scrap yarn is this bubblegum pink scarf. The end is looking a little funny. I need to block out or maybe at least steam block it so it doesn't look so weird. This is kind of a self-drafted pattern based on the Uma scarf, I believe it is, by Petiteknit. I didn't think it was required for me to get the same kind of pattern without, wait, what am I saying? I don't think it was necessarily required for me to buy the pattern to get a very similar result. Maybe the exact size or stitches is going to be like slightly off. But I think if you look at the patterns, or especially if you just look at the pictures, then you can kind of just figure it out yourself, like what the construction is of the scarf. So I just kind of started this on a whim as like a little neckerchief scarf to wear when I'm biking to work in the mornings and it's a little chilly still. We've had a heat wave this last week, so this doesn't seem very seasonably appropriate anymore, but it will cool down eventually. And I just like to keep my neck warm when I'm biking. And I think this will look really cute. I think also because of the shape, it's more of a triangle instead of like a really skinny triangle. Then it'll also be kind of like a bandana. So I could also wear it as a bandana, which might be kind of cute. So we'll see. But I think my goal is to do like a main project and then also do a scrappy project. So for this, I can make it as big as I want. I have, this was like a partial ball that I've been working on. And I believe I have at least another full ball of this. It's a Drops Daisy. And I was using this for my lakes pullover. I had 2.5 balls left over. So I'm gonna put in as much as I can into this. I might make it a bit bigger. And then, if I'm actually wearing it as a scarf, then I just like roll it up like that and then tie it. And then this is a perfect example of a miniature scarf that I would, there, this would be my miniature scarf. Just imagine this, but a lot bigger. Yeah, I think that is the way to go with working my stash down a little bit is main project, side project with stash yarn. Yeah. This, also I'm knitting it with a 3.5 millimeter needle. And this yarn is actually looking really, really nice with a 3.5 millimeter needle. I think usually when I would get this kind of yarn where it's like 50 grams to 100 meters, I would knit it with like a 4.5, maybe even like a 5 millimeter needle. But I think with a 3.5, it just looks so nice and like even and consistent, and it's just a nice fabric. Also, this yarn is so soft. Drops Daisy. I'm considering, is this a superwash yarn or is it not? I don't think it is a superwash, but I have a skein over here, so I'll check. Okay, here's another one. Extra fine merino wool. It doesn't say superwash. Content 100% wool. So I don't believe that it's superwash, but it's very, very soft. So we like this. Yeah. That's my little, this will be my new TV project. This was my TV project. And I was having a hard time finishing the body of this because on little needles going round and round and round, I was getting kind of bored. So I continued working on a new project. And I didn't start anything too new, but I just continued working on my husband's Dagmar zipper sweater. And I got the back shoulder piece done. And I think it looks so good. And honestly, this was just, like, I enjoy knitting cables right now so much. And like color work, I just love knitting more intricate things at the moment. So this was a joy to knit up. I talked about it last time. I'm using Haynes Creek yarn from the yarn is called Haynes Creek Heather's Decay, or Haynes Creek Heather's Aran, because it's the Aran weight, and it's by Gathering Yarn. And it's beautiful green yarn that we got in Canada. And I'm knitting it exactly to pattern. I'm making the 4th size for him. Yeah. Although I can't exactly remember how many moss stitches were on the 4th side and how many I put on. I might have put like another extra on because this did seem like a little tighter than what I wanted for him. And I was also comparing it to the Dagmar zipper sweater that I made, which is also right here beside me. So we have some comparison. This is mine that I made last summer. Here's the back piece. And this is like a good chunk of moss stitch. And then when I hold this up to compare, I was counting. Now when I look at it, it does look like more. But yeah, that's okay. This size that I made was pretty roomy. Like, it was definitely oversized for me. And I don't think he loves his sweaters too oversized. He kind of likes them a little bit snug. But even this size on him was okay. But I'm just making it a tiny, tiny bit bigger, and we'll see how it looks. So thanks for this star appearance. This is on 4.5 millimeter needles, which is great because that's the recommended needle size for this yarn. And yeah, I'm just making it exactly to pattern. Nothing really to say about it. I'm interested to see how it is before it's to see how it is after it's blocked, because this isn't blocked. I haven't blocked it yet. So I'm wondering how much this yarn will like bloom and fill out, if it's going to be more than more than this one or not. Yeah, but we will see. I think now, because I'm done the back panel, I might block this before I start the shoulder bits, but yeah, we'll see. Looks good so far. Now, let's talk about some acquisitions, which I don't have any yarn acquisitions, but I did buy a few patterns, because if you guys may have noticed, Petiteknit had her 10-year anniversary, and she had this big anniversary sale, which Petiteknit patterns never go on sale. So I bought a couple Petiteknit patterns. I got the Saga sweater, which is her newest cable knit design. And I saw one of the test knitters on Instagram with, it was the same yarn. So the Atlas yarn, I believe, by Sandnes Garden, which is a new one. And it was in like the midnight blue color, really dark navy. And it looked so good. So I want to make that exact sweater sometime. And I would like to try it with that yarn, because I don't know, I just really love the color and I love that exact sweater, so I just want to make that exact one. And then I also got the Esther sweater pattern from Petiteknit, and that one I don't have any ideas, I don't have any yarns myself that I'm going to use for it. I'm thinking I'm going to buy some special yarn from Scotland and use that for an Esther sweater to make up sometime this winter. And then in my next podcast, I'll show you guys what I get, because I am needing to get more yarn for this top. And if I'm buying like 3 skeins for a drop spool, that's less than €6, and then I have to pay like €5 for shipping. So in my mind, I'm like, well, I may as well just get something else and try it out. So I kind of want to get another summer yarn, a new summer yarn to try out, and just to make like a nice simple tank top or something. But you guys will see that in the next one. So that's all I have for knitting. I do have a sewing project that I worked on since the last video, and I made a bunch of door stops for my house. Just a super simple pattern. I think I just looked up like a really basic DIY on TikTok, and she just said cut out 2 rectangles, cut out a really big rectangle and a small rectangle for the top. Then you just kind of iron this in on itself, so it's kind of like a double thick handle, and then a rectangle. I'm having a hard time describing this. Oh, it was okay, this is the piece. It was a rectangle like this, and then you sew it in on itself, so you can see here the seam on the back, and then you sew the bottom up. So you have your rectangle, you fold it in half, you seam that bit, and then you also seam the end. So then you kind of have a very basic bag with like the top open, and then you do the like corner bits where you kind of like make little triangles and then sew those, so then it's like square on the bottom, And this is a really bad explanation. If you want to make a doorstop, then just look on TikTok, DIY doorstop sewing, and you will see this exact thing. There was like a whole bunch of videos showing how to do it. So I made 3 of them, all with like scrap fabric. This is left over from a dress that I made last year. I also have, I have 2 others. So this is for our bedroom, and I had to make one for our bathroom, and downstairs for like our living room. Because there were like, my husband had like flip-flops behind the doors to like protect the walls from the door handles in case they would like blow open, and I really was bothered by them. So just one afternoon I'm like, no, I'm gonna do this to make our house a little bit nicer. So I got that done. And now it's like summer, so I do want to do some more sewing. And I'm considering making another dress. There is the sandstone shift dress, I believe it's called, which is a free sewing pattern. I already have the pattern for it. Like I would just have to print it out and make it. So I'm considering doing that. But if you guys have any other like really cute dress ideas or dress sewing patterns that are maybe like a little bit, not so much fitted, but a little bit more tailored, and not just like a boxy dress. Like I made the one from Sydney Graham with the ties, like the front tie dress and top, and they had like some bust shaping, but all in all it was like just a very square like bodice piece with like a really big oversized, which I mean, yes, that is a style, but I also just want something a little bit more tailored looking. I don't want all of my handmade clothes to look handmade, you know. Yeah, so if you guys have any ideas, and that'll be exciting because it's like a really deep dark fabric. I already have some fabric, just some plain cotton, dark brown, which is my color lately, even though I have nothing right now with dark brown in it. So thanks for hanging out with me this lovely afternoon, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.